Hi, everybody. Welcome to the term of the week on the Behavior Web.
I'm Mike Marroquin.
I'm Liliane Rocha, and today we're going to talk about stimulus class.
So just as a review, we had a video on antecedent stimulus. So if you want to take a look at that, that'll give you a little bit of feedback, a little bit of discussion on some of the stuff we're going to cover, but this will get into it in more detail. So as a review, a stimulus is an event, an absence of events, or combination of events.
And if you do check out that video, make sure to share.
Mm-hmm.
So what's a stimulus class? According to Heron Cooper Heward, it's a group of stimuli that share specific common elements along formal, temporal, and functional dimensions. That's a load of a definition.
That's a pretty thick definition.
So let's break it down.
Okay. So the easy part, a group of stimuli. So we can talk about that. That's just some number of stimuli.
More than one.
That's right. That they share common elements. So we'll get into that in more detail. And those elements are going to array along some dimension. So there can be formal elements, meaning the form of the stimuli, what they look like. Temporal elements, when those stimuli occur in time. And functional elements, or how we interact with those stimuli.
There we go. So let's break it down even more. And now,
this is a pet peeve of mine. I hate when I read in a paper somewhere, usually it could be in a report, it could be in a paper for a grade. If there's one, it's a stimulus. If there's more than one, it's stimuli. And make sure you don't make that mistake, and behavior analysts all over the world will be happy.
And there's no difference between stimuli or stimuli.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I mix and match.
Or data.
Yeah, well.
Or tomato.
Tomato, potato.
Call the whole thing off.
The whole thing off. So here we go.
Here's a bunch of stimuli. We have different shapes. We have different colors. We have different sizes. This could be any number of stimuli that you encounter.
Yep. We could also be a PreK class.
That's right. I think most of us hopefully have done well in pre-K. It's interesting that if you have a child that's in pre-K, you could actually watch someone learning how to classify stimuli.
Nowadays, actually, they learn that on TV. You know, if you have a small child at home, a toddler, they learn that on Nick Jr., Disney Jr. That's where they're learning the shapes and stuff.
Well, they have Baby Einstein. Maybe we need Baby Skinner.
That's a good idea. Maybe we should start that.
Yeah.
So here we go. I'm flipping the slide.
So let's start by talking about the formal dimension, or the features of the stimuli. All these stimuli are two-dimensional shapes. They share the same form, and we can split them up by common features of that form. So here we have three circles. They all share the same form. We also have two quadrilaterals. Big one, we have a small one.
Three what?
Quadrilateral. It's a fancy square.
Oh, okay.
Because that middle green one isn't exactly a square, but it's kind of close. So
a rectangle then.
That's right. So you can describe this in terms of features that have sides and corners and features that don't have sides and corners. You can even redefine them in terms of the large stimuli and the small stimuli.
Mm-hmm.
So the stimulus class is based on whichever features that you want to organize your stimuli by.
So here's an interesting fact. You know, all these stimuli that we have on this slide, they're some shade of green or blue, and we're calling them and classifying them by their colors because we actually can discriminate, their colors. But I have been around a couple of people who are colorblind. Mm-hmm. For them, the color dimension would not really mean anything. They would probably be all brown.
Mm-hmm. So that feature in particular might not be something that they can use to divide these stimuli, but they can still look at other features like shape and size and distance, all those sorts of things.
So that is to say that the formal dimension is determined by the organism, whatever is the dimension that the organism can perceive.
Good.
Like, mice don't perceive color. They see in black and white. Mm-hmm. So color would not be a relevant stimulus dimension for them.
Now we'll talk about the temporal dimension. So here is where time in which stimuli occur is important. So they can either overlap in time or be presented in a sequence.
For example, what comes to mind when you think of a morning?
Well, I got my coffee in the morning. I
Eggs
think
and
of the
toast,
sunrise, the eggs. See, the eggs and toast are missing cheese. If it's there's no cheese there, I'm not
bacon.
interested. A little bit of, oh, see, now I need some bacon. So these are all stimuli that you might experience in the morning or associate with morning in general. But also, again, with music, you run into a situation where the notes have to be presented in the correct sequence. So again, some instruments, let's say in an orchestra, are overlapping with one another. Some instruments are occurring alone, let's say in a solo. But the notes have to be played in a specific sequence, otherwise it's not occurring at the right time.
Yeah. All right. So, and then the last part of it is that all similar classes could share a functional dimension. I'm sorry, what is going on here?
Your computer is not functional.
There you go.
So how do you respond to the stimuli? And again, think of it, stimuli don't occur statically. We do interact with and respond to the stimuli that are in our environment. So the example that we have here is the doorknob. So we have a number of different types of doorknobs. Some are different shapes, some are different colors, some are different sizes. They all have the same function in that they open and close doors. And once you learn how to operate one doorknob, you pretty much know how to operate all the other kinds of doorknobs that you have there.
Yeah. So they all share the same function. They all open doors or close them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though they don't share temporal dimension, they don't share the formal dimension, but they do share the functional dimension that makes them part of the same stimulus class.
I thought of another one, shoes, right? You have your shiny shoes, you have your sneakers, you have your flip-flops, you have your sandals. They all have the same function. They protect your feet from whatever you're walking on, but they look very different from one another.
That is if you're a guy.
That's
Because
all.
if you're a woman, shoes serve different functions. There's your work shoes, there are your party shoes, and there's your go to the beach shoes, and they, trust me, they have very different functions.
Well, the guys, we have
not just protect your feet.
We have fewer classes as men. We have our brown shoes, we have our black shoes, and we have our sneakers.
Those with laces and no laces.
That's right.
But anyway, so what are similar classes good for?
Well, it helps us to organize the world around us. And that happens through discrimination and generalization. We learn about stimuli and we learn how to classify them so that we're generalizing stimuli that are within classes, and we're discriminating stimuli that are between classes. That helps us to learn more efficiently and eventually allows us to create concepts.
There you go. So generalization occurs within a class.
So we tend to treat all fruits and vegetables the same way. We eat them. And discrimination occurs across classes. Could you imagine treating a cat the same way that you treat a cup of tea? Right, two very different stimuli, and one you pet and one you drink. Just don't mix up the two.
Yeah, right. Can you picture that, drinking a cup of Furball, something like that?
Earl Grey cat.
Yeah, I don't think that would make a cute cat video on YouTube.
No, but maybe we should do it. Cats are pretty popular these days.
You're right. So stimulus classes are essential. Then what is wrong with this thing? So stimulus classes are essential to the use of many other behavior analytic concepts. So they are at the root of concepts such as discrimination, generalization, equivalence.
And they serve as a springboard to develop a variety of techniques such as discrete trial teaching, task analyses, or behavioral chaining.
There you go. And you know, we were talking about the functional dimension of stimulus classes, and the fact that this, you know, slides keep changing out of, you know, when we program them to, it's totally messing up how we respond to slides.
Well, the slides just need a behavior intervention plan.
Yeah, let's get right on it. You know, right away, write a behavior plan for them.
There you go.
But there you go. So that's it for today. So let us know what else you want to know about.
If there's a term that's bothering you, if there's something you're getting stuck on, or something that's been explained to you a number of times and you're still not quite getting it, let us know. Maybe we have a different way of explaining it that'll make a little bit more sense to you. You can contact us by responding in the comment section. You can email us at the websites that you see.
And make sure that you share and let other people know about this, and let your classmate know. Share it on Facebook, and you know, share it on Twitter, whatever you want to share it on. Make sure if you find some value on this, to subscribe to the newsletter, subscribe to the blog posts. And if you don't find any value on it, just go ahead, share with all the people you don't like.
That's true. That works well. This could really upset someone if if they're not interested.
Right? And the other thing also, it's we're talking about creating a live webinar with a Q&A session in which we'll be taking questions live and helping you understand some topics.
It would be more like a conversation. We get to interact, and you can kind of let us know, if we need to explain something a little bit more, if you're getting stuck with something, or
if whatever we say doesn't make any sense.
That's right. And sometimes you'll see that one answer might lead to another question, or one clarification might lead to, maybe that's the right answer for something else as well, and you're trying to put it all together. So again, my goal is I want you to pass your exam. So let us know what you need help with, and we'll let you know.
Sure. And then so at the bottom of this blog post, you will see a link to a form where you can reserve your spot for that webinar. So that is it for today. See you next week.
See you next week.
Okay. Bye. Okay. All right. Doesn't want me to let it end.
Oh, maybe we're not done.
Maybe we're not done. There we are. Now it's for real. Bye.
I don't know. It still says recording on my side.